A very pleasant evening to all the attendees, esteemed faculty, researchers, colleagues, students, and friends who have joined us today. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all once again to day two of the two-day national online workshop on research for academic excellence, organized by the Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram campus, Chennai. It was apparent from yesterday's session that there is so much to take away from any research workshop, and this one in particular on very relevant topics for anyone interested in research and development. Today, we have a follow up of day one and also a lecture on the topic citation and reference management. We have with us once again Dr. Rajendra Kumar Das, Associate Professor of English, Department of Basic Sciences and Humanities, GMR Institute of Technology, Rajam, who will be enlightening us further on the technicalities of referencing, which is a key aspect to any research work. Once again, I would like to gently remind all the participants who have joined us to stay with us till the end to access the feedback, and don't forget to post your queries, if any, in the live chat stream on YouTube. We have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation for 15 minutes, so you can post your questions then. Without further ado, I take this opportunity to call upon Professor Das to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
To all the participants, esteemed participants, yesterday's session was just to make you aware about how plagiarism is entering our research work, whether we are conscious or unconscious. Leave those people who consciously depend on plagiarism because of pressure or any other kind of motivation, negative motivation they might have. But I believe that every researcher wants to publish 0% plagiarized papers and a Ph.D. thesis also. So lots of questions may be coming in your mind. I like to, because the kind of research I have done on plagiarism and how to remove plagiarism, I think it requires more than 10 days to give you all the entire information. But in a very short while, that is within 1.5 hours, even to explain a few terms may not be possible because plagiarism is entering into research in different forms, in different ways, and we need to be very careful. If we are not extremely careful, then we may be victims of plagiarism knowingly or unknowingly. Many people, they are in a hurry to publish, and if they don't publish, they will suffer, and if they publish, they will suffer because plagiarized articles will make them be guilty, and later lots of troubles will come. And one thing, just in one word, in one sentence, I like to sum up the danger of plagiarism. Today, when I was in the exam hall, I was thinking about the danger of plagiarism. Then I found it can be compared to the danger is, it is like this, that plagiarism is as dangerous dangerous as cancer in the body. Plagiarism in the research writing is as dangerous as cancer in the body, and we can say that it is COVID-19 in mass, or COVID-19 super spreader in mass gathering, infidelity in marriage or cheating in marriage, and a betraying friend in a winnable war. When somebody is going to win a war, because somebody betrayed and you lose the war. This kind of trouble plagiarism can make for any researcher, whether you are a PhD scholar or you are a post PhD faculty member who is publishing. And this is a big problem. But how to avoid? I ask a question, a very soul searching question that today I was thinking these things that first of all, what to ask ourselves? What do I really want? Do I want to write a plagiarism free paper? Really? Is it in my consciousness? Do I really need? Okay, I may uh, sound very moralistic, very ethical, and plagiarism is an ethical issue. Plagiarism is not a crime, but plagiarism is an ethical issue. Therefore, when we want that plagiarism free paper should be written, then we have to discuss ethics and morals. There is nothing to be astonished about it. But we'll also discuss techniques and how to do that. Or you ask yourself, do I really want a plagiarism free paper, or do I want to write a plagiarized paper but I don't want to be caught for my plagiarism? Means I want to publish somehow, nobody should find me out. When this kind of thing is coming to our mind, whatever questions, we have to be very careful. Actually, research writing, sometimes there is no plagiarism, it is 0% plagiarism. But what is the meaning of that paper if that paper is not offering any solution to any existing problem? If it is not creating new knowledge, if it is not creating some theory or some models or some concepts, if it is not generating in any way, what is the meaning of that paper? That paper goes for nothing. It simply counts in our CV. It simply adds one page in our CV or one line in our resume. But besides that, for all practical purposes, plagiarism is not doing anything at all to the research community. Research community needs to be benefited. We have almost rejected our traditional knowledge systems. They are sometimes helping us in research, but most of the times they are not going to be acceptable by our Western masters who decide the norms for publication and research. Unfortunately, though. Many people may not agree with me, but you will slowly realize that the people who call the shots, publication is a big industry, and they will never find that Indians they will challenge. Those Indians will be always in favor, those who will be doing some brokering kind of thing, except a few very big researchers. Otherwise, it is a regular problem to publish in high impact journals because our research is not up to mark, or our writing is not up to mark, or we don't meet the requirements. And plagiarism also surfaces in one way or the other, it comes. So now question is how to write a plagiarism free. Now question is how plagiarism is detected. Plagiarism is primarily detected by plagiarism, okay, detectors or plagiarism detecting softwares or plagiarism checkers. Lots of plagiarism checkers are there. Today I'll be discussing some, and then also discuss how some people try to remove plagiarism, how they should not remove plagiarism, and also how we should go forward. How can we quote properly, how can we paraphrase properly, and how can we summarize properly, and how we can use citation properly so that we can overcome the problem of plagiarism. Nobody need to bother about any material. Selected sections about the software, I'll give it to Professor Walter Parker, and he will share with all of you after the program is over. So just give me a day. Tomorrow I'll be editing some portions, and because I have already checked with all the software that I am discussing, or I have seen reports from them. So whatever I am telling is verified one. So that is my authority to tell you. Otherwise, I don't belong to any uh, software company, or I am not promoting anyone or demoting anyone. Just how to achieve academic excellence, that will be our main, and how you will manage the citation and a reference. So that is the most important thing. So coming to plagiarism detection software, a good plagiarism software should be, first of all, let me make you think of something before you go for any plagiarism software, because many people think if plagiarism software is showing zero similarity, or there is no plagiarism, it is showing means there is no plagiarism. No, you can't depend fully on plagiarism softwares. Plagiarism softwares are not to be depended upon. I am quoting from Professor Deborah Weber Wolf, Professor of Media and Computing at the HTW Berlin University of Applied Sciences. Professor Deborah Weber says that software cannot determine plagiarism. It can only point to some cases of matching text, means in our paper or in our dissertation, what portion is there. If it is matching somewhere, it is located in some database on the publicly available website or somewhere, then the software can match it. But software cannot determine whether the matching text is plagiarized or not. The systems can be useful for flagging up problems, but not for discriminating between originality and plagiarism. Means the plagiarism detection software, they can show that here there might be a problem. Okay, because it is matching, and it is matching from this source. So that is the benefit. Sometimes you have taken somewhere, you have forgotten to give citation. Then through the plagiarism detection software, you can find out the source also. Then you can go to the source, put proper citation, and you make the reference. In this way, you can avoid plagiarism also. I find personally plagiarism detection software very beneficial for researchers in this way. Otherwise, sometimes even very original writing, plagiarism software will show matching. How do the plagiarism software work? Plagiarism software work by pattern recognition, word matching, and sentence pattern matching. Words, phrases, sentence patterns, all these things, if they are matching, then the text will be shown to us. And many plagiarism software, very interesting, and I don't know whether by this I am promoting plagiarism myself, I can't say. Turnitin and many software. I'll tell you the primary software which are at the forefront, most popular, most dependable software till today. And you will find that they can't match images. They can't. Okay, I'll tell you many different aspects how we cannot depend fully on plagiarism detection software. And Professor Devra Weaver Wolf says that with how to discriminate between originality, or what is original and what is plagiarized text content, that decision must be taken by a person. So many people blindly they see the report and they say this is plagiarized. No, matching is not always plagiarized. Matching is not always plagiarism. Therefore, if you are a scholar, you depend on the guide. The guide will tell you, or you rewrite it because you have got the source also. So that kind of thing is there. So that and you can always you can always find out people who are learned enough, knowledgeable enough, or friend circle, or if you have a focus group, a research group, whenever you are doing a research, have a research group. If you have a research group, it will benefit you like anything because you can discuss different issues and you have to take into confidence people who know. And if you are lucky enough, those kind of people are always available around you, but you have to make them interested in your research. Sometimes people they have fear. If I say somebody will take, no, somebody is taking an idea will not use it. Your idea will not be that big enough that will change the life of a researcher unless it is published and unless it is validated and replicated. It won't be like that. Simply telling something, it will not going to spoil anything. Okay, some people become jealous because all they have done that get one idea only, and that's why they are very possessive about it, very obsessive about it, not to share with anybody. Publication means you are making it public, but before publication, if you are making it public, it may be problem. But one idea, if you are discussing with a close group, it won't be a problem. So this is the shortcoming. This is the limitation of the plagiarism detection software. If you find out, you cannot depend on them. Rather, depend on some human guides who can help you. And you should always find out that examining and matching contents, if you find out any words and phrases that they are not matching your own style, doubt that you might have copied somewhere. So check it in a software. Believe me, many tools, very freely available tools, SEO tools available on the internet, they are also very useful at the preliminary stage to show that whether a source is taken from something. But what is the difference between the premium or paid plagiarism detection software and the freely available plagiarism detection software? The freely available ones, they have limited scope. They are given free because they cannot be augmented, or they are given free because if free service is applicable, if you are satisfied with the free service, then you will find that the premium service, the paid service will be much better and you will buy that. So the efficiency varies from free to paid ones. That's why people they never try to depend on free plagiarism software because matching is done by all the plagiarism software, whether free or paid. But whereas the paid plagiarism software or paid plagiarism detection software or plagiarism checkers, when you find them, that the paid ones have a huge database. For example, Turnitin, millions of papers are there, millions of books are there, millions of essays are there. You will find in them. Therefore, when they are matching, their scope is huge. So that's why we have to always depend on paid plagiarism software at the final stage or pre-final stage. But in the beginning, when you are writing, if you don't have plagiarism software, paid plagiarism software, nothing to worry because once you put it, it may be somewhere with the plagiarism software. Sometimes it shows that student essay, but which student submitted, you don't find anything because when you are checking your article or your paper on the plagiarism software, that is stored in the database of that plagiarism software. So even sometimes you will find your own writing, it will be shown that it is matching with another student. Who is that student? His name is not given, that name is never revealed. your own writing, but you will find that it is matching, it is copied like that. So never bother. That's why plagiarism detection software reports must be interpreted correctly, must be understood correctly, must be shown to somebody who, if you can find out, then who can analyze it and who can evaluate actually whether plagiarism is there or not there. Otherwise, what will happen? We just become panicked. We feel that okay, there is plagiarism, so we start removing. Many, I have seen many researchers, they say, sir, this much is showing plagiarized, I am removing this. Okay, then what you will do? If you don't remove, then it will show plagiarism later. So that kind of problem is there. So there is a way to deal with that, but nonetheless, plagiarism detection software, they sometimes create more problem than they solve. Sometimes they create more problems than they solve. Your original writing, they will show as plagiarized or matching. And those people who don't understand what they will do. For example, in the universities, I find some clerks there on the software and they generate the report. But they understand, they will find out how much is matching. If matching is 40%, then they will say your paper is plagiarized for 40%, your thesis is plagiarized for 40%. Then you will break your head, it will not help. So learned people should operate the plagiarism detection software and they should interpret, or at least if somebody else is operating, then a learned person should interpret it whether there is plagiarism or there is no plagiarism. But always, who is better than you? Who knows better than you whether you have plagiarized or not? But in due course of over time, you forget what you have plagiarized, what you have not plagiarized. So how you manage it, how you maintain it. So the best thing is whenever you are finding any source, start creating citation and start creating reference. If you don't use, no problem. And when you go for the next revision, then make the old one version 1, okay, or you can say draft 1, then you go draft 2, draft 3. Like this, you if you go, then you can always go back to the old one where you have, in the new one you have removed something, but that is available in the old one, you can take it, you can modify it. So the best thing is from the very beginning, whenever you are borrowing any idea from any source, please go for citation. And how to do citation, I'll tell you. It is very easy, it will take little time and it will give you a sense of deja vu, a sense of accomplishment, and you will feel that this is nothing new. Perhaps I have done it much earlier also. That kind of feeling you will find because you will feel full confident that my work is going to be a plagiarism free work. So that till we come to that section, let me tell you that don't depend on plagiarism detection software fully and don't panic. Don't jump suddenly seeing the matching. See, matching is there. Sometimes I had a very interesting experience. I sent my paper to a friend. He's a now he's a professor in one college, computer science. I sent my paper to him. I said, sir, please do it in the check in the Turnitin and send me the report. And he obliged me. He did it. And he said, sir, 45% is plagiarized. I was unable to believe myself that how come that 45% is plagiarized means what I have done. If this kind of thing is happening, then I should stop writing. Then what I did, then I said, okay, sir, you send me the report, let me check. Then when I saw the report, I found that the reference section is totally not there. Means removing the reference section, my friend has checked the plagiarism and therefore it is showing 45% plagiarism. Okay, so I said, sir, what you have done, you have removed the citations, you have removed the reference. No, yes, yes, sir, I have removed it. I said, no, sir, you please do it. So when he did it, it had 2%, and 2% also I found that it's not means real plagiarism. It is matching. One word is matching. For example, a very common word, a generic word. For example, the word reference. If it is showing as matching, will you take it as matching? Will you take it as plagiarism? Never. So never be panicked by the reports, because our problem is we don't have time. We always want to be as quick as possible in publication. So my suggestion to the new researchers, the early career researchers, is that please don't write too many papers. Write, first of all, develop your writing skill. Once you have developed your writing skill, then you decide several papers to write. But in the beginning, first you learn the trick of the trade. Read as many as possible. In which journal you want to publish any article or research paper, please read as many as possible. Nowadays, open source journals are there, open source journals. Okay, so open source journals, you can easily find out the articles are available. Download, read at your leisure or your pleasure whenever you are available for yourself, for your research work. At that time, you please read as many as see that how they are writing, see what kind of impact they are creating, how they are using the different sources. There are mainly two sources, primary sources and secondary sources. And of course, there is a tertiary source, which is a compilation of secondary source. So mainly we can say there are two sources, primary source and a secondary source for to be used in your paper. And in your paper, what you find, you can always go for primary source if your research requires that kind of thing. For example, interviews, focus group observation, focus group discussion, and then you can also go for surveys. So that kind of thing, that is your primary research. Okay, you are the user, you are the creator of that resource, so that is your primary resource. Then you have journal articles, books, encyclopedias, and lots of things are there. Videos, audios, many things are there which are secondary sources. So you have to give citation to the primary sources, saying that you have done, you have to write it, and secondary sources you have to give citation. Citation means it involves two aspects. One is in-text citation. In-text citation, you have two types of citations. You have Vancouver style. Vancouver style is number, using the number. You can find IEEE uses mainly this kind of thing. And Vancouver is number. Number means either you in square bracket or in plain bracket, round bracket, or in superscript, you give one number, and then reference you have to give the details. When the same author or same authors you have to quote second time in your body of writing, same number you have to give. Means suppose after 10, instead of 11, 1 may come, because what you had originally given as 1, that may be coming after 10th. Once again you are citing him, citing the author. So after 10, 1 can come. After 15, 3 can come, or 11 can come, like this. So you can find out number system is always consistent. Once any source is given a number, That number remains permanent to be used throughout the paper. You cannot change the number. If different book, same author, then another number you can give. Otherwise, with the same book, same number, or same paper, same number, it will continue throughout the text. That is one thing. Then in the reference, you have to give details and you have different styles of citation. First of all, before you start writing a research paper or before you start writing a dissertation, first find out which style guide or which style manual I have to use. If you are a research scholar, ask your professor, guide to tell you, or just previous or recently submitted Ph.D. thesis or dissertation, you can check. If your university is very clear, then you have, when you have been admitted, which style guide to use, it is there. Or whenever nothing, no clarity is there, always believe that the research guides what is the final word on it. Nobody is going to question it. That is the convention. And always go for the latest edition of any style guide. The main style guides are APA or American Psychological Association, APA style, or Modern Language Association, MLA style, or you can go for Harvard style. For medical, they have different styles. For law, they use the Harvard Blue Book, and there are thousands of styles in research journals use. Different journals have different styles. So, when you have citation management tools or software, you will find that there will be 3,000 styles. There are 7,000 styles. Imagine, means different journals use different styles. They make some variations here and there, which is suitable to them. That is one way you have to find out. The major citation styles are American Psychological Association or APA, and then you have Modern Language Association or MLA. AP is basically for social sciences and sciences. You have MLA for language and humanities. Then you have Harvard for history and social sciences. Then you have the Blue Book for law. Then you have IEEE. It has its own style guide. Then there are different style guides. You have to find out first if you are a research scholar, which style guide or which style manual I have to use. Be sure, and from the very beginning, before you start writing anything, read the style guide. That is the main reason why course work is done, because you should know the convention, how to write. Just having ideas will not be enough. And if you are writing for a journal, find out, read the guide to authors or author guidelines, like that you read, and some sample articles, even if it is not an open source journal, some sample articles will be always available. And if you don't find, just take a title. Titles will be available. Take a title of an article or research paper, open Google Scholar, you put it within inverted commas, most probably it will be so. So you have nowadays Google Scholar is very helpful. All these scholars should use Google Scholar. Another one is ResearchGate. You have millions of paper on ResearchGate. So in ResearchGate also you will find, you can easily download the paper also from. Sometimes what happens, you are searching for one journal article, you don't find anywhere using the internet. What should you do? In that case, try to find out premium institutions like in India, IITs, universities. They contribute, they subscribe to the journals so they can download. If anybody is there, any faculty or there is any, you can say, any friend, senior person, anybody is there, you can request them. You will, they will download it for you and send you. So you can do that. Also, you can sometimes you can buy. Rarely, if you go for buying, also giving a few dollars, that will not be a problem. Or you can borrow it from a library by paying a small fee. So that kind of thing is available. And always you have to remember, you are a researcher means you must have a good network. I don't have a Turnitin, but whenever I want, I can get it checked by asking some friends. They do it for me. So similarly, we need not buy everything. If we can afford, definitely we'll buy. But occasional uses, so you can depend on some people, and people are always there, everywhere, ready to help you. But sometimes our problem is we want immediately. Sometimes we want in our own way. No, we have to be very considerate that to whom we are requesting, we have to give them ample time also so that they can, if they have taken some work, so they can always have a very honest relationship with people, and they may misunderstand you when you speak, I can't do. They may not like it, but your words will carry weight. When the time will come when you say, I'll do it, they will count on you and you can help them. So try to be honest always. In research, I can say honesty is the best policy. No fraud work will be helpful because it will backfire always. And the return on investment will be double or triple. Means never do anything wrong. If you are doing positive, two times, three times better things you will get. And if you are doing a negative thing, two, three times worse things will happen to you. Therefore, from the very beginning, understand that you have to remove any fear in mind and don't be greedy at all. Many people I find they want to publish as many papers as possible. What is the result? The result is that they are not doing any original research. They are not able to contribute to the knowledge, whether you are recognized or not recognized. You don't bother. You simply do the work. Recognition will follow if you are the right way you are doing. I remember very late I started research. I requested one professor. I said, sir, I want to publish in journals. He said, why not? You should do it. Then he guided and we started writing. Okay, it was entirely my work from my PhD thesis. And the very first article, at that time, even I had not heard, okay, Scopus or not understood Scopus, SCI. The words I might have heard, but I had never understood. Okay. So that kind of problem you people don't have. From the very beginning, from the early career, you are hearing Scopus, SCI, this, that, all these things. Plagiarism I had never heard even after my PhD, till my PhD. PhD was over. Later I came to different journal writing. Then I thought of plagiarism. Because if you are doing original writing, you need not bother at all plagiarism. Plagiarism, the fear is sometimes because of fear of plagiarism, many people are not writing at all. If I write, I am not a good writer, I'll be caught. No, it is not the right way because fear fear causes all the sins. Fear is the mother of all the sins. Don't be afraid of anything. Only you need to fear when you have published. If you don't publish your writing, why should you fear? And don't publish till your writing has become perfect. Don't worry whether name will come or name will not come, promotion will not come, money will come or money won't come. They should not guide your publication. If you go for this, you will be landing in trouble. It is just like if you skate on thin ice, you will burn your finger. Similarly, if you want quick publication, you will burn your finger. Nobody can help you. So you have to be your best friend. If you are not your best friend, then you are going to be your own enemy because plagiarism will happen. Even though you are avoiding plagiarism, no standard publication will happen. So you need to be careful. Luckily, the plagiarism detection software are with you and they are helping you. You always in the beginning, don't if you don't have turn it in a big software, okay, very premium, high quality software, don't bother at all. Whatever free software available, I'll give you the list which I have checked myself, which have worked, and priority wise I have listed them. So I'll give you the list. Professor Walter Hug Parker will be kind enough to share with you. I'll give you a list. Nothing to worry. I don't want to hide anything. I would like also to share this book with you all, but I am unable to do this because I have already given word for publication and I am going to this. Remember, any plagiarism detection software, it should have minimum three qualities. It is OM. OM is, I am not talking of any spiritual thing, just to remember A for accuracy, U for user friendliness, M for maintainability. AUM. Accuracy, user friendliness, and maintainability. Okay, OM is just one acronym, defines the characteristics of good software. Particularly, I am talking of plagiarism checking or detection software. A means accuracy, which will give accurate report, which is user friendly, which you can really use because sometimes you try to use them, they will not be giving turning up good results. There are many software. For example, open source software are there. People can change their codings also. That is the problem with free software, free plagiarism detection software. Any computer knowing person can modify the codes, and if the codes are modified, then you will find even the right thing will be shown plagiarized, and the plagiarized portion will show original. So, like that, that's why free plagiarism detection software don't depend on them. Besides, their scope is very limited, their database is very low, so must not depend on them before you submit, okay, to any good journal. Don't use these things. In the beginning, first draft, you can use open source, no problem. But from time to time, you check with the till final stage, you check with premium software, which either you buy or you get it the service through a friend of yours or a faculty or your guide's friend or some institution. If you write to somebody, if you visit any website, you'll find email of a professor. You request, right? Sir, I am doing, I don't have this facility. Could you please kindly help me? I want this paper to be checked for plagiarism internet in, or you say Arkund, or you can say authenticate, or you can say unicheck, whatever or scribble, whatever you say. So they may be sympathetic and they may ask their scholars to do it for you and send you. So develop a network and develop from day one. Don't underestimate anyone. Don't dislike anyone because if you like yourself, you should like everybody. Okay, whenever there is an issue, that's a different thing. Otherwise, suddenly don't jump into conclusions. Don't be prejudiced. A researcher should have an minded, should have open-mindedness, not prejudice. Remain open. remain open always. So accuracy, user friendliness, and maintainability. Maintainability means sometimes the it will ask you that you update. You find free software, they don't get updated, but premium or purchasable software, plagiarism detection software, you find they are very good, they maintain. Good plagiarism detection software, they have high range or vast database or index, high accuracy rate of detecting identical text. They can check even paraphrasing. They can show similar content and the sources. They are affordable, or if not affordable, they are also accessible. Maybe some universities may be doing. UGC was planning to give one plagiarism software for all the researchers, but it has not happened so far. And you have to find out, you have to use those plagiarism detection software which have been recommended by universities all over the world. These are the good characteristics of or characteristics of a good plagiarism detection software. Okay, this thing also I'll share with you because I think it won't be a problem for me. I am going to publish it as a book, and if anybody, any researcher will be using any portion to get knowledge, and you know that plagiarism detection is such a field that you can become an expert in that also. So that kind of thing will be there. Now, question is which ones we should buy or we should take, what are the names, what they do, like this. Paid plagiarism checkers, first of all, the name comes in turn it in. Many universities in the world, as well as many world class journals, they depend on and prescribe Turnitin plagiarism checker software. For example, Harvard University prescribes the Turnitin. As many as 81 of world's top 100 universities rely on Turnitin, and Turnitin receives 1 million, that is 10 lakh submissions every day. Paper checking, 10 lakh submissions every day. And it is easy to interpret Turnitin's similarity report due to different colors used or color coding. Different filters are used, for example, the internet source, book source, like this. And the source comparison, you will find how much percentage. Remember that you should not, your any matching is happening, it should be less than 1% from any source. If at all you can resist plagiarizing, then no source should be more than 1%. Copying should happen only 1%, maximum 1%. Okay, that is also a big amount, 1%. So it should be zero. But in the initial phases, you can go for 1%. Then you till you learn how to make it 0%. And you will find the results are presented in simple format by Turnitin. And Turnit also helps with the grammar and spelling checks also, and it suggests some better word usage. So these are I am talking of the paid versions. Okay. Nowadays, many people in India, and India is becoming next to China perhaps, they can crack Turnit codes and people are using, and they are selling also the license to other people 1,000, 2,000 rupees. So this is happening. So that is also a kind of plagiarism or pirating, but you can't help it. Wherever money is involved, people will be doing duplicate things. So you can't stop it. They can't stop. Authenticate plagiarism detection software, authenticate.com. I'll give you the list. So therefore, don't worry. Please listen carefully. Many universities in the world Also, world-class journals, they depend and prescribe authenticate plagiarism checker software. So next to Turnitin, the name authenticate comes. 1,500 publishers, not journals. One publisher may have several journals. For example, Sage is a publisher. Sage has hundreds of journals. So 1,500 publishers rely on Authenticate. Authenticate compares submissions to premium academic content, scholarly journals, books, reviews, patents, dissertations, preprints, conference proceedings, and even internet pages. So its database is huge, but it is next to Turnitin as far as I know. And when you are submitting, one file must not exceed 800 pages. I think it is not a big problem because your thesis will never go to that many pages. Ideally, a thesis should be maximum 1 lakh. Cambridge University thesis you find 80,000. Oxford goes for 1 lakh. But you find in the IITs very less number of pages are used because except in the humanities, etc., you cannot do. Nowadays, you find in many universities, people are doing research, and in humanities, you'll find very volumes and volumes. See, that is not real research. Real research doesn't go on padding. Padding is just adding pages to impress someone. Okay, you cannot take several objectives. You cannot take several research questions. You cannot take hundreds of hypotheses in your research and go on testing because you have no work you have to do for years. No, that is not the way. On the other hand, make a dissertation just standard one so that it can have a spine. Just take the help of your guide, how much you should do, see the previous ones, and what is the subject wise, how much you need. Rather, focus on publishing papers, not padding your PhD dissertation. Don't make it hundreds of pages. Okay, it should not be like that 300 pages, 400 pages, 500 pages. Even in one volume, the thesis is not published. Several volumes are there. People show their pedantry. I am such a big scholar. Okay. And that time is gone. Okay. So now don't do that. Rather, make a standard PhD dissertation and focus on publishing research papers. You have done good research means a dissertation will come out, and those people who are doing PhD, you will find that writing a high impact research paper will be more difficult than writing a PhD thesis. You will realize it sooner or later. Therefore, it is my humble submission to each one of you that don't go unnecessarily increasing the page length of your dissertations. Rather, plan it out. You have a good research design, then you can find out whether you will be using qualitative research or quantitative research or mixed method. Okay, what kind of experiment you are doing, all these things that will give you something, a picture. So make a smart goal and implement that goal. It will help. And in Authenticate, Microsoft Word, Doc and Docs, plain text, Adobe PostScript, PDF, HTML, RTF, Corel, WordPerfect, all these formats you can submit your research. It gives Authenticate, gives extensive reports, and you will be surprised that 70 plus billion web pages Authenticate covers, whether current or archived Earlier, they were available, now not available on the internet. That is also available with Authenticate. Okay, we have not verified, but people are depending and they're finding out. Therefore, we have to believe the claim that 70 billion plus web pages are available with Authenticate software to match our article or dissertation with. Authenticate identifies materials, and the database being very extensive, you find it becomes a dependable report. So it also shows percentage score, it shows similarity score, means totally how much is coming, and you can easily start crediting as per needs. It screens content submissions, provides most critical matches in minutes, detailed report to detect sources of plagiarism if anything has happened, and you can also, that is the most important aspect I'll tell to my research scholar friends, that even if you are not buying Authenticate, there is a free trial. Through that free trial period, all the software you will find free trial period, you can check your paper. So that is one option. And always when you are in doubt, ask your guide or a research guide or supervisor for any kind of advice that he or she will give you, and obey the research guide. If research guide is a genuine person, a learned person, then you must obey. Otherwise, what happens, if you depend on the research guide, I have many cases with me, people who have suffered a lot because of the laziness or ignorance of their research guides. There are research guides who are like God, very helpful, very caring, very strict, and at the same time, very friendly. One can be strict and one can be friendly at the same time. It is possible, but you need not be afraid. Learn from various sources. Knowledge is unlimited, and the sources now to learn is also are also unlimited. That's why you maintain contact with as many people you find. You don't know who will help you in which way. Therefore, be in touch, remaining in WhatsApp groups, being in various research foundations. Okay, actually, Research India Foundation grew out of the need of some researchers who had attended the FDP's convent by me. So we are doing like that. So there are many bigger ones and better ones. We are just a starter, and that's why what I like to tell you. Please be in touch with people and whoever you are finding. Just for example, you find somebody is there. You have attended a session in FDP or workshop, whatever. You can always say, give introduction, sir. I had attended your session on this day, which was organized by GMR Institute of Technology or any SRM Institute of Science and Technology, like that. And I need some help. Kindly help me with this. So you will find that always it will create a kind of positive vibe, and that will revive your hopes, that will help you like anything. So I have told you about Turnitin, I have told you about Authenticate. I'll give you the list, need not bother. Orkund plagiarism checker. Orkund. Orkund was prescribed by UGC. Or first of all, UGC had prescribed Turnitin. Then some complaints came. People said that when they are checking plagiarism, then they are finding that their work is matching with the previously submitted work, therefore it is not dependable. So those kind of complaints came, And Turnitin says that they have solved this kind of problem. So authenticate, I don't know that kind of complaint, but I should not assume any software 100% dependable. Rather, see that you cannot depend on a person 100%, whoever may be, your guide or anybody. You cannot depend on any plagiarism checker 100%, even if it is Turnitin or Authenticate or Orkut or anything. But when these two combine, a learned person plus a good plagiarism detection software, then your work is done. And you have to develop yourself. My guide always used to tell me that Rajendra, you see, you should know more on the subject than me, and you will convince me that your subject has validity. You have created some knowledge. You should satisfy me. And this person is saying this, that person is saying this. They are big people, no doubt. But what you are saying, that is more important than anything else. But before you say something, you have to find out what they have said so that you contextualize and then you come to your own point of view. That is how research has to be done. And I am very happy to tell you that my first paper, that is prescribed at Chapman University, California, USA, as a course study. Okay, that I can share with all of you also through Professor Parker. And another thing is there, that never be afraid, because writing is something which you incrementally learn. At a time, nobody learns writing, nobody has learned writing. Therefore, sometimes I put some books in various WhatsApp groups. They don't understand. Okay, they think are good source. Thank you, thank you. Thank you doesn't help. Don't be just an accumulator of resources. Read also. When you are a scholar, you have to give time. Previously, what was happening? People were going to the forests. See that those people who have written lots of materials, for example, Vasudev, he has written Mahabharata, the 18 Purans. He was living in forest. Why? Because they had to concentrate, they had to reflect, they have to think very deeply. Then only they could write. Okay. So you have no scope to go to forests, or if you go to forests you will have more problem in the forests nowadays than you are at home. So be at your home, but create a forest like atmosphere sometime when all the members of the family have slept, without disturbing anybody. Make yourself 1 hour or 2 hours, study something at that time, and whatever you are studying, take notes. Most of the times we read a lot but we don't write. I'm sure many of you must be listening to me, but very few of you must be taking notes. So always remember, listening must be accompanied by taking notes. You may like the idea, may not like the idea, but whenever you are listening anything, take the idea. Whenever you are reading anything, write down. So both listening and reading should be followed by writing. And you know, writing is the ultimate. You have, if you write, you can speak better also. So that is the ultimate thing. It is the summation of okay, all the skills. So writing, if you are a researcher, you must love writing. You must fall in love with words. Okay, you must fall in love with ideas. You must fall in love with visual designs. You must fall in love with different authors and thinkers, sources. So if you don't do that, then you will be doing a disservice to yourself. Therefore, please keep in mind, I was talking of two software I have already spoken to you. One is Tornatin. I am speaking in on priority basis, Tornatin. Second one is Authenticate. Third one is Urkund, Urkund. Urkund plagiarism checker. I'll give you the list, so need not bother. Listen to me. UGC prescribes this, and it gives relevant matches, and you have uptime and delivery speed is good. Nothing can match it so quickly it gives. It has automatic machine learning text recognition system. You know, machine learning. You are very much aware about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all that. So it uses that. Almost all the software they are using artificial intelligence, machine learning, and okay, deep learning like that they are doing, and they are becoming stronger day by day because whenever we are submitting our papers, then that is in their database. So their database is growing day by day. So millions of papers they are receiving in a month. So you can imagine what kind of scope they have to check. Then another one is Unicheck. Unicheck, Unicheck, Unicheck. It has any manipulation somebody has done with the text somehow, it can check that. It has an AI assistant or intelligence assistant. That name is Emma. It can identify, basically students use it, and it is also a paid software. Then one is script plagiarism checker, SCRIBBR, script plagiarism checker. Script plagiarism checker, actually it has a partnership with the Turnitin, and it compares your document to 70 billion web pages and 69 million scholarly publications. So you can imagine, almost it is a partner of Turnitin. So, and the good thing is that if you are putting a small document that is up to 7,500 words or a paper, you can purchase it, the report, by giving $19.95 or $20, we can say. If you are going up to 50,000, 7,500 to 50,000, you can give $30 and you can find a report. If you have a longer document, 50,000, you have to pay nearly $40. $40. So in this way, one-time payment also you can do, one-time purchase of service you can do also. You need not buy it forever, so it can be useful. If you cannot buy or you cannot get paid plagiarism software, I have told you how to get it, and this is how I want you to find out plagiarism detection software. There are lots of free plagiarism detection software. Many people are using. I'll be naming them priority wise. One is Plagiarism Checker X, good one. Dupli Checker, Copy Leaks, Paper Plagiarisma, Plagiarism Checker, that name, Plug Scan, Plug Tracker, Q Text, Viper, Unicheck free, available also, Grammarly, and Plagram, no plug. 14 plagiarism detection software free ones I have given you, but always remember that they cannot. No plagiarism checker can check plagiarism. They can check similarity. Whether it is plagiarism or not, human beings can only check. No machine can say that this is plagiarism. So now question is how to deplagiarize. Now question is how to deplagiarize your research. Whenever you are having any idea, any source, anything, any information from anybody else, not created by you, but from some other source, which you are bound to take secondary sources, then how should you present it in your paper? First of all, you should know, okay, which source you are using should be very clear. Remember, the primary source you need not give any citation. For example, what is primary source? Your own questionnaire. You have created a questionnaire. That is a primary source. Survey you have conducted any result. That is your source. You have conducted an interview. What is coming that is your source. Primary source means your own source. Observation of focus groups, that is your own source. You are writing about your personal experience, that is your own source. Your own diary or memoir you have written, that is your own source. You have made field observation, that is primary source, your own source. You have made some experimentation, that is your own source. Your own observation of the experiments, then that is also your own source. Your creative writing, stories, novels, poems, drama, that is also your own source. Your creative art, paintings, cartoons, etc., they are also your own source. So these are primary sources. Secondary sources, you have, okay, biographies, blogs, commentaries, journal articles, dissertations, encyclopedias, government records, newspaper editorials, opinion pieces, literature reviews, review articles, podcasts, radio and TV information, reference books, textbooks, works of criticism and interpretation. Like that, these are secondary sources. Secondary sources are very easy to locate. So therefore, you have to, if you give citation, people can easily find out that, and you must do. If you are not giving attribution or citation to secondary sources, then you are committing plagiarism. Now question is how ideas of other people enter into your writing. Now question is whether should you quote or direct quote or indirect quote. Quoting, when should you quote? Question is when should you quote or when you should paraphrase or summarize. Okay, when should you quote? Quote only if the language is so expressive and adds weight to your argument, which will be lost in paraphrasing or rephrasing, then you should quote. When exact wording is necessary for a technical purpose, technical accuracy, use quotes. When the words of an important authority gives weight or it directly comes from the horse's mouth, so that word takes lot of importance. So you should quote instead of paraphrasing. When are using an exact definition by the original author, the first author, you must quote. When it is impossible to rephrase the original text without losing meaning in translation or transmission, then you should quote. And when you want to maintain the authority and style of the author's words, you should quote. And when you should not quote, you should go for indirect quotes. What are indirect quotes? Indirect quotes, the name is used for paraphrasing and summarizing. So there are lots of things. This book is very exhaustive. I am not going to give you all because this is a very small time, and this plagiarism is a huge issue, huge problem. It is as big as a problem at personal level, like the China-India tension at international level. So you can imagine that. And American style of quoting and British English style, they quote. Okay, American English use double quotation marks and single quotation marks within quotation marks. In British English, use single quotation marks for quotations and double quotation marks for quotations within quotations. That example I can send you so that because just by listening you may not be finding it. So then you have short quotations or block quotations. Block quotation when you have a passage that is a block quotation and APA has its own style. 40 words or more, you have to make a block quotation. All the style manuals, they have their own ways, whether that should be in the running text in the paragraph or separate, indented, okay, hanging text will be there. That is decided by the style manual. So always, if you have not used the style manual, first of all, take a style manual. If you go to Purdue University, then you will find that they have shortcuts of all the, I can say, major style manuals, a few pages, and all the essential things are given. You can use that also. Okay. So quotation, be very careful when you are quoting, and you should know how to introduce a quote. That is okay. I have hundreds of words. How to start a quotation? What should you write? Then you start quotation. So that kind of thing. I am not going to spend time on that, but I have told you the concept. Then coming to paraphrasing, when should we paraphrase? Okay, if you have to use quotations, then same thing should not be put in paraphrase. It is very simple thing. So how you paraphrase, that is important. And when you go for paraphrasing, first of all, paraphrasing helps you better than the quotes. Because when you are paraphrasing, you can change the style because your own words you will put, so it will help you like anything to maintain the own voice, your own voice. So when you are paraphrasing, rewording, change the words, rephrasing, change the phrases, restructuring, change the sentences, and a rechecking, check once again whether the same meaning has come or you have lost some meaning in the process of paraphrasing. Paraphrasing software is also there. I'll uh, recommend you one software. Use Our problem is we want a list of software. Why should we need a list of software? Do we have the time to check everything? I am writing a book, I can check everything, but when you are doing research, why should you go for checking every software available in the world? You need one effective software. If it is working for you, then that should be enough. If a better one is coming, yes, you should know. But having a list, how it does help, I don't understand. But anyway, I will recommend you Resumer. Resumer is Resumer. Resumer is such a beautiful software. It is AI driven one, and you can put an URL or you can put text. It will paraphrase and give you. Remember, the free software is able to take 40,000 words, not more than that. If you have to use, you have to summarize more or refresh more, then break part and then you collect it. Okay. You have content professor, clever spinner, Wilbert, pre-postero article reviewer, word AI, spinner chip, and number one is Resumer. Resoomer. Resumer. Okay, all these. Okay, I'll send you the list. Need not bother. But remember, Resumer can help you in summarizing ideas and concepts, entire articles, scientific texts, books, interviews, plays, without any modification or interpretation. It will just summarize and put at your feet. So it is very simple. Resumer.com. Just remember resumer.com and you will find a box. You can put the URL or in the box, or you can put the text, copy and paste the text. Then just click, it will give you. It is available free of cost. It is also available in premium option or paid option. You can purchase it for 1 month for nearly €5, 3 months, €13, 1 year, €40. So it is freely available and that is sufficient also. You need not buy it. But if your institution is buying, it will be good. You can persuade your institution to buy Resumer premium software. But personal use, no need of buying. It will give you good, very good result. I have used it and I have seen But free software means if you are regularly doing, sometimes it will cheat you. Therefore, free software I never recommend for anybody. But when you don't have any option, it is better to go for free software. Okay, some free software better than many paid software. That's why I'll say. And I remember many summary, um, okay, tools, summarizing tools. One is SMRY, SMMRY, Get Digest, Text Compactor, Summarize Bot, Checkly, AI Summarizer, Scheme AI, Lawly, and remember, even on YouTube also you can summarize. I don't know whether you have done that or not. You can summarize YouTube summarizer. Is there Dept post? Any YouTube video also you can summarize. So that will be very useful. There is another one called Brief Tube that is quickly summarize any YouTube video. Review jump is there. Any review of movie, it will review any movie. It will summarize any movie. So that is there are lots of software. Okay, but as I have told you, they have their limitations, and that they any good researcher will not depend on them thoroughly. Will depend on yourself only. Don't depend on anybody else, and slowly develop. And in your journey, let the detection softwares, citation softwares, reference management softwares, let them help you. Okay, citation is very important because if you are citing properly, you can avoid plagiarism. So that's why you cite. And um, dear peers, my colleagues, friends, students, I will always go for citation whenever you are using any codes, when you are paraphrasing any idea from anybody. Okay, already some idea has been expressed by somebody. If you are mentioning that, also give quote, give citation. Whenever any reference you are making to any article, any book, any kind of thing, and or when you are talking of some idea you got from some source, from some media, even from social media also, even though social media cannot be given citation, okay, you should mention that where you got the idea. Be honest. Being honest doesn't create any trouble for you. So when you go for citing, you can always go for, okay, how to cite properly. There are thousands of styles. If you don't cite, you will fall prey, uh, okay, to plagiarism. You have APA style for psychology, education, social sciences, linguistics, the Chicago Manual of Style for history, humanities, fine arts, anthropology, philosophy, the Chicago Manual Style A and B. Another is there for also sciences, ACS or American Chemical Society is there. It will be useful for chemistry people. National Library of Medicine Style, NLM, that is for medicine people, you can easily cite. And CSC style is there, that is Council of Biological Editors for biology. CSC is not computer science. Okay, biology you can use for citation. Harvard style is also used for economics. IEEE style, which is based on the Chicago style, it is very useful for all engineering, computer science, and IT, EC, okay, electronics and electrical. ML style for humanities, art, literature, music, communication studies, foreign languages, like that. Citation and reference management tools are many. One is cite this for me, cite to write, Jotero is there, many of you might be using. RefWorks, write and cite, EndNote, some of you must be using. Citavi, 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 that is free software, 9,000 citation styles, including UPA, Chicago, MLA, and Turavian style, you can do with Citavi free. Sci wheel, for science, it is very useful. Sci wheel, my beep, that is also 8,000 styles it can do. So, for any journal, you can do this. APA, MLA, Chicago, Harvard, everything will do. Citation machine is there, Cite Fast is there, Flow Site is there, JabRef is there, free one, JabRef, and my favorite one is my bib, that is my bibliography. In short, my bib. My bib is one of the best citation software. I'll go for my bib. Look at this. You can always put www.mybib.com. You'll be very happy that this free software is going to help you like anything. I have used it. Professor Parker, could you please tell me if the screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is visible.
Thank you, sir. So if you look at this, my web here, you can go for add citation in anything you want to cite. It you need to cite in text, either number you will give or parenthesis bracket you will author, year, page number, like that you have to give. It depends on which style guide you are using. So go to add citation. It will show like this, not the lower portions that I have done. It is showing. So just go to add citation. What you are seeing? You are seeing website, book, journal, video, then you go to more. Means artwork if you want to cite, blog post, book, book chapter, book review, conference paper, database article, dictionary, ebook, encyclopedia, film or movie, DVD, image, interview, journal article, legal bill, legal case, legislation, magazine article, map, news article, patent, personal communication, law or regulation, report, review, song, speech, standard, thesis or dissertation, TV, radio broadcast, video, website, like this. Lots of work you will find. Anything you want to cite, you can use this and you can do. For example, you want to cite a website, you put the URL, then search, it will show you lots of things. If you put book, just give the title of the book or ISBN, then it will do. Journal. Either you put the article of the the title of the article, or you give DOI. Nowadays, the DOI numbers are available. Simply you put DOI, it will bring everything. Videos you can do. All these things are available. Having said that, always go for add citation. Remember, before you add citation, you can find out this add citation, then all these things will be there. But now question is what you want to do. You have, see that APA 7, American Psychological Association 7th edition, AMA, Chicago Manual Style 17th edition, the latest one. Then Harvard Australia style, IEEE style, MHRA style, all these things you find MLA 8th edition, okay, Oscola, that is Oxford University for legal, and Vancouver style, that a number system. Like this, lots of things are there. You can imagine what you want. Okay, lots of things are there. Different journals, different uh, formats. Any way you want to cite anything, you can use it. And when you do it, for example, I have done this. If you look at what I have done, it is showing copy bibliographies entries. Okay, copy in text citation. Copy in text citation means, okay, copy in text citation means the short one in bracket will be shown. But if you are going for copy bibliographic entry, the entire reference will show. You can see here, this one, in text citation A3 2020. That is APA 7 style. Okay, different styles will show differently. But the entire one is copy bibliography entry means the entire thing will be there. So like this, I will recommend you go for mybib.com. Mybib.com will be one of the best and easiest way to do this. So that is what I'll tell you, and always get it edited, revised, reviewed before going to publication. Another piece of advice to my research scholar friends, that suppose you have written in Word, Word Reader is available freely. Add-on software, Word Reader. You can read what you have written. So when you are reading your writing, what you will find, something is not, you find that some problem is here, you can modify. So listen your own writing in another's voice. You can choose the voice also. Word reader, PDF readers are there. You can convert your word into PDF. You can use a PDF reader and listen. Convert your text into speech and listen and modify accordingly. You will find very good impact will be there. It will help you giving the finishing touch to your research writing, whether research paper or dissertation. In this way, you will benefit. I'm really sorry that within this limited time, whatever, how much I wanted to give was not possible. It could not be possible actually because this is such a vast topic and the things are interrelated. That's why. But one thing, research writing, okay, or writing 100% free, plagiarism free, 100% plagiarism free research papers and dissertation. They are not only possible, they are achievable, they are realizable, okay, they are very much available. You can do because every day you are learning new things, every day you are growing and interact with as many people as you can. Don't feel ashamed, don't feel bad. Even veteran scholars, they should not feel bad also. With hundreds of publications also, still somebody can give you some suggestions how to improve your writing. So don't feel bad if you are a real researcher, genuine researcher, don't feel bad to discuss your idea with anybody. And if you are not a good researcher, still you are a learner. Learners have a license to make mistakes, but not plagiarism kind of mistake. Okay. So with this, I'd like to stop, and I thank you for your patient hearing. Over to Professor Parker. Any questions or
Thank
any kind of
you.
answer there? Thank
Thank
you,
you
sir.
so much, Professor.
Most
You
welcome.
have given a mountain of information on valuable insights into research. So much of information and insights you have given in your lecture. And as you said, it is a very vast topic. I'm sure you have covered as much as you could. And I'm sure an ocean of researchers would benefit from it, sir. Thank you so much. Shall we take a few questions now, sir?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
The first question I would like to just post a question by Jyoti Shri.
Okay, Jyotishri madam. That's okay. without any guide, if you want to write an original research paper, okay, for research paper you don't need a guide, you need a guide for your dissertation. And if you have already a guide for dissertation, then that guide will be your guide, research paper. See that guide may be a person who is officially assigned to you. If you mean that guide, because you are not a scholar, you will not have that guide. But you can find people who know, knowledgeable people. They will be your guide. Guides are not only available in the universities, guides are available all over the world. For example, a book can be a guide. Okay, any resource on the web can be a guide. So guidance is important. Who is guiding you? Whose name is guide? That person may be guiding or may not be guiding. Sometimes people misguide also. I have many scholars with me who cry every day what their guides have done to them. That doesn't mean that all guides are bad. Okay. So it depends how you choose your guide or how you are destined to have your guide. But without a guide, you can start always. There are many reliable sources you can read and start writing. Lots of things are available nowadays. Knowledge is becoming free or at least accessible, so you can go for that. You can okay. I today I assure all the researchers that whenever you have you are beginner, you have difficulties, you can email me. My email will be available with you through Professor Parker's help, and you can write your problems. You can WhatsApp me. I'll definitely guide you. And if I am not suitable to guide in anything, my teachers are there who are still guiding me, and they are veteran professors. Entire world respects them. There are so many of them who are my teachers. I am lucky enough to have them as my teachers, my guides. So I can take always their help and bring it to you or make you contact them so that you can directly talk with. Padma ma'am says, does conceptual paper has weightage as in case of analytical and empirical research papers? See that sometimes we say empirical. Empirical is not always experimental. Empirical is also when you have statistics, etc. That is also empirical. Okay. Conceptual papers, as you know, concepts. Okay. Weightage will be the same. What contribution you are doing, what original knowledge you have created through your paper, that will be viewed. Weightage is that there is no weightage like a review paper. A review paper, many people think easy, but minimum 100 papers you have to review in order to write a review paper, and the selection of the resources, selection of the secondary resources, what you are reviewing, that should be perfect also. If you are missing something, then your review is not up to mark and it will fall flat. So conceptual papers are as good as empirical papers or investigative method used papers. So there is no problem in any kind of no discrimination is made. Okay. Future Newton. If electronic interventions can detect my own voice as plagiarism, then what is the way forward to achieve 0% plagiarism rating on my research paper or thesis? Question is, voice detection is not the case. When you are reading something, first of all, if you have that kind of fear, you read it to yourself or ask somebody, a friend or a relative or a family member, read your paper to yourself. That will solve the problem. If you have that fear, because software is something, you know, if you are using a software, okay, plagiarism detection software, they will record, they will keep a copy of your writing. But when you are using voice, They are not going to keep it, and it is when you are checking with anything else, it will not be found out in that way. So it is a question more into a query into software kind of things rather than plagiarism. So there is no question of plagiarism at all. Okay, your own work, if it will be shown as plagiarism, then what you will do? You have not published it, but it will show plagiarism. So lodge a strong protest with the plagiarism detection software. You tell them that how this is happening. So and then they will clean it. Okay, so always there is a way. If there is a problem, there is a solution. Or there are, if there is one problem, there are different solutions. So we have to find out. We have to exercise our brain and find out how to solve the problem. That is the purpose of research also. Okay, Mr. Ranjan sir, can we do experiments in preparing the research paper? For example, can it be in horse farm? What are the new methods of preparing the research paper? Okay, horse farm, you can always prepare, you can call anything a research paper, but question is your research paper, who will recognize it as a research paper? Who will publish it as a research paper? You can publish it as a book. Question is who will publish your horse farm as a research paper? Many people out of frustration write verses when they do research. And they later they say that okay, this is also a good observation, let me publish it as a paper. It can't be a paper. It can be book. It can be a book of poems. Okay, it is creative writing, not a research writing. Creative writing and a research writing, they are different. Creative writing can't be research writing. No journal will publish it. You need a journal to publish, or you will create your own journal to publish it. There are some journals who are publishing also poems, but can you do that? Is it possible? So I don't think so. How to find genuine websites for getting authentic information, study materials, for doing our research in this situation because offline library access is yet not available in many places. Momita ma'am, you have really raised a very pertinent question. What is genuine website? I think you can always go for the uh, writing centers of different universities. You will find they are dependable ones. So they are genuine websites. Go to different universities, their writing centers, research centers, whatever you find there, that is genuine. Sometimes they also plagiarize. Okay, but information is authentic. They never put wrong information, so you can depend on. So go to different universities and their writing centers, their library services. You will find a library. Foreign universities, particularly, I am talking foreign means I am talking of Western universities. You will find both sides of the Atlantic, the Europe and the Americans. You will find those universities. They have plenty of material for their students, so you can always benefit from them. Purdue University is there. Then almost all universities, Harvard University is also giving good material. It is available. Just give time, try to find out. Don't go for any. When you doubt any source, don't go for it. When you understand that it must be genuine, go for it. When you are in doubt, leave it out. Can you suggest any good reference manager tools? I suggested a lot, and I'll give a list with the URLs. So it will reach you. Don't worry. By tomorrow, I'll request Professor Parker to give you some references, some lists, software, and that I'll be sharing with you. Nothing to worry.
Sir, there was one common question which was asked
Yeah.
by many participants. This is about what topics in English language and literature would you suggest to do research on, and how to approach journals for such topics. What type of journals would you suggest to approach for English language and literature research topics?
Yeah. in a very lighter vein and with your due apology, I'll make one observation. I know thousands of people are watching, and maybe many more thousands will be watching it. But still, I like to say that people who are teaching English, they know how to advise rest of the people how to do their research. But when it comes to their own research, they flutter. Why it happens, we learn something, we teach something, we do something else. So there is no consistency in our work. And it is very difficult because you need to earn a living and you are conditioned in some way, but your heart is with literature, your heart is with language. You are interested in language, you are teaching literature. You are interested in literature, you are teaching language or something else in the name of language. Like this, it is happening everywhere in India, okay, and in many countries also, abroad also, overseas. But one thing is, if you go for if you are going for pure research literature, you are going for language, there is no problem. It is a very clear cut. Although research methodology, English research methodology, I have been checking, even professors from Duke University, Edinburgh University, they have written books on English research methodology, and you can be satisfied with that. They have used even tools, they have said it is a method. So that kind of problem is there, and it's a problem which will continue unless some like-minded people come together, because one person can do it. That kind of problem will be solved. But coming to the solution part, you can always go on. Day before yesterday, I gave a lecture. I delivered a lecture at Loyola College, Vijayawada. They're a very old college, and their NIRF ranking is 37. And there I gave a lecture on, my topic was design thinking for action research in English language teaching. Design thinking for action research in ELT. So it is a total new topic. I proved the compatibility between the two methods, action research method and design thinking, how design thinking can be integrated into action research or ELT, how it can be done. So you have to come up with new topics. You have to think beyond the disciplines, that is called transdisciplinary. I'm not talking of interdisciplinary. You go beyond the disciplines. For example, now we are going to conduct, if possible, one international conference on the future of artificial intelligence and languages, literature, and communication. Look at the topic. The future of, okay, sorry, artificial intelligence and the future of languages, literature, and communication. Okay, AI is doing a big round, everywhere. In India also it has started. So you can see that, look at the topic, AI and the future of languages, literature, and communication. So you have to come up with new topics. When you come up with new topics, see that there should be some base. Out of nothing you can't create. Something should be there, little bit is there, but you have to think. Okay. So in this way, you think of something. When you have a discussion forum, you have a debate forum, wherever you can talk with people, ideas will be generated. Or you read journals, you find out new articles are coming in different journals, so new topics will be there. If your topic selection is fine, 50% of plagiarism problem will be avoided. And the problem is that people are going with the old topic, whatever has been said, exhaustive research has been done, Same thing they want to write a paper because it is easy for them. But it is easy to write a paper, but who will publish that paper and how that paper will have high impact, because the results should have impact. So that kind of problem we generally face. So we can overcome this problem by keeping our eyes and ears open what is happening in the society, what is happening in the field of technology, what is happening the field we are teaching or talking of, maybe language, literature, okay, any kind of thing. For example, linguistics. Now, eco-linguistics is making a big paradigm shift. So you can imagine, you have to think of and discuss with somebody. You anybody, whoever you are interested, you can just send me chat and just give an email ID. I am ready to discuss with you. Dr. Parker will be happy to discuss with you. Dr. Rema will be happy with you to discuss. So people are there, thousands of people are there, but we are not trying to find them out. Research is a discovery and a rediscovery, research. But when resources are there, resource persons are there, people who are beginners also, we have to learn a lot from them. And I have learned a lot from plagiarists, okay, plagiarists rather than okay those who are writing original articles. Believe me, because I have tried to correct there and I have found out how they have done things. So I have learned a lot from them. So you have to learn from people who are doing negatively, you have to learn from people who are doing positively. In this way, your learning will be comprehensive and always take a risk, always take a challenge. What maximum will happen? A journal will reject your paper. What more will happen? Then they will give you some, that is the benefit of review. When they give you review feedback, reviewers will give you feedback, you will find lots of scope to improve your paper, and the paper will be published in the same journal. Okay, 22% of papers rejected by journals, they have been published when resubmitted with revision. They have been published by the same journal or better journals, journals having better impact factors than these kind of journals who rejected. And you can always go for this. Look out for topics in different conferences. Look at the topics in special issues of journals and the new books coming from very topmost publishing organizations like you can say the Sage, Wiley, also the university publishers. They are also coming with beautiful titles. So you can always go for that. Finding a new topic will not be difficult if you sit down and think for something. Sometime it will not be difficult at all.
Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of
Thank you. Pleasure.
our department and our HOD, Dr. V. Rama, I thank you immensely because she could not be here and she asked me to convey the same to you. At this
Thank you.
juncture,
Thank you,
I
Dr.
would like to give you a brief report of the program, sir, before we move on to the formal vote of thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
I would like to take this opportunity to give you a brief report of the two-day national online workshop on research for academic excellence organized by the Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram campus, Chennai. The two-day online workshop covered topics on research and academic writing, and we have a resource person of repute, Dr. Rajendra Kumar Das, Associate Professor of English, Department of Basic Sciences and Humanities, GMR Institute of Technology, Rajam. I think he delivered mind-blowing lectures on both days on very thought-provoking topics. It was very insightful, and I need not say from the feedback we have received from the participants, from the comments, which were just very positive to say the least. I must say that it is a very successful program. We had around 2,160 registrations for this event from almost 15 plus states in India, several countries abroad, like the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and others. Uh, all these participants most of them participated on both the days of the workshop. Day one of the workshop featured a live session here on the topic writing a 100% plagiarism free research paper and PhD thesis. Today, Professor Das deliberated on citation and reference management, the different tools used, and we had almost 2,000 participants attending both days of the program. And I'm happy to say that this program has also reached almost 4,000 views on YouTube on both the days. This is a culmination of the success that this workshop has had right from yesterday till today. Last but not least, among the 2,000, almost 2,200 participants who registered, almost 1,000 participants attended both days actively, and they will be all receiving participation certificates within 10 days. We also invite further queries and interaction with us. We'll be responding to emails sent to us in this regard. Feedback, comments, and queries have been flooding our inboxes right from yesterday. We have tried our level best to respond to each and every one, though we might have missed a few. Almost 8,000 plus emails have been sent from different email accounts over the past 1 week. We have responded to over 100 emails in the last 2 days, which by God's grace is an accomplishment in itself, I can say, if I may say so myself. Your feedback is most welcome. We invite you all to keep in touch with us till you get your certificates and material from this program with the kind permission of Professor Das. With these few words, I conclude this report and would now like to call upon my colleague and workshop co-coordinator, Ms. Pritha Basu, to deliver the formal and final vote of thanks. Over to you, Pritha.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Walter. It gives me immense pleasure to give the vote of thanks today as an end to a wonderfully informative and engaging workshop organized by Department of English and Other Foreign Languages, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram, Chennai. At the outset, I would like to thank the Almighty for showering us with grace and blessing for smooth conduct of the program. I would like to thank and place on record my sincere appreciation to Dr. Rajendra Kumar Das, Associate Professor of English, Department of Basic Sciences and Humanities, GMR Institute of Technology, Rajam, AP, for accepting to conduct this 2-day national online workshop on research for academic excellence for teaching and research fraternity. He has deliberated this event with his insightful analysis and exemplary knowledge on writing a plagiarism-free research paper and citation and reference management in particular. Thank you very much, sir. It is an honor to have you amongst us. I like to thank the entire management of SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram, Chennai, for their constant motivation and guidance. Needless to say, behind the success of all events is the incredible support of all the colleagues in our department, and especially our HOD, Dr. Rema, the driving force behind it. Thank you once again for encouraging us, ma'am. Without my co-coordinator, Dr. Walter Hugh Parker's unwavering spirit, this event wouldn't have been a success. My sincere gratitude for being the catalyst during the entire program. And last but not the least, I thank each and every participant for their participation and cooperation in making this event a success. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Preetha. Sir, thank you so much once again.
Thank you, sir. I thank my institute principal, Professor Dr. CLB RSB Prasad sir, SR head, Swamakant Mr. Sir, and I thank entire SRM Institute of Science and Technology, the Department of English and other foreign languages, and to both of you, wonderful couple, for because of whom I could be present here, and my gratitude to all the participants, those who listened to me. I am just also a beginner, and I think I must have helped you to think deeply about some
Definitely, sir.
issues. Then we can meet through online platforms like emails and chat box. We can go for that. So I
Yes.
thank all of you,
Thank you, sir.
viewers.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
I
Thank you,
thank
sir.
each and
Best
every
service.
participant who was with us on both the days. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.